So the first round of the playoffs for the Prem and Division 1 is in the books. It's done. We're finally in the post-season of the 25-26 British University American football season. We'd say that. This week we've got Division 1 and Division 2 kicking off, and we're going to get into those results. I mean, a lot of strangely close results, a lot of good games, and then the game that me and SJ were at, which was, I think, easily probably one of the worst game of the weekend in terms of like scoring wise. Everything seemed really interesting apart from like the first like quarter of Brunel Newcastle. That fair to say?
Oh, sorry for being good. Like, what do you want me to say?
Yeah, be entertaining. Don't be good. Be entertaining.
Oh, sorry.
But before we dive into the first round of the Division 1 and Premiership playoffs, we are joined by Jord of E5s and various other teams around British American football that have had no news. So don't get in contact with him. Jord, how are you doing?
Yeah, I'm pretty good. It's been a really peaceful afternoon and evening.
Peaceful day.
Nobody's bothered me about anything at all. And seemingly not much is going on. So that's really nice. I've enjoyed that. Yeah.
I think me and SJ may talk about it, the thing that did happen, but we'll leave Jord out of it for now because I imagine his day's been filled with it. So we're going to talk about E5s. That's coming your way after the season. It's April 19th, 18th. Coming the way at Surrey as well. So we're gonna have a quick discussion about it. Me and SJ were at the first one, and obviously, well, Jord, you were also there.
Yeah.
So I guess it's a case of give the people just a brief synopsis of what E5s is.
Yeah. So I guess, and this is the interesting thing actually. Like I know we've been living this for I don't know, like 9 months or something now, since whenever the last one was, or more actually, it's about 6 now. I kind of felt like everyone knew what it was, but actually, as we've moved to this uni version, there are people that haven't even heard of us. So like stuff like this is actually quite important, to be honest. But essentially, what we have, it's a single day tournament. We invite down 8 teams, and every team is 18 players and a minimum of 2 coaches. We get them playing in a pitch which is about the size of a flag pitch. It's actually a tiny bit wider, but the length is the same. And it's 5v5, full contact football, pads and helmets, no special teams. And so the format is kind of, I guess it feels like you're playing like contact 7v7, like you would at practice. Similar kind of like Skelly feel. But it's got like a slightly different rule. So it's almost played a little bit like flag with pads on, in a sense. So like QBs aren't allowed to scramble and just sort of take off and things like that. So you see a lot more pass. There's limited sort of rushes and stuff like in flag. So it pretty much ends up that you just have like 1v1s all over the field. So like O-line versus D-line, corners versus receivers, safeties flying about, running backs versus linebackers. Like it's just really raw fundamental football. So what we've done is we pretty much set this up in a tournament where 2 games are always played at the same time. 2 mini divisions, kind of like the round robin tournaments and stuff we all did when we were kids for kind of like soccer and rugby and things like that. We get the 2 strongest teams from each mini league. They play each other in a final, and then this time round, the winning team is going to get $3,500 as a cash prize that they're going to split between them. So it's not bad. If you just give the players the money, it breaks down to 200 quid winnings each, which is like pretty good. It's technically 194, but we're just going to round it up. It's $3,500. Sounds a little bit nicer on an Instagram post, but it'll be bumped up, so it's 200 quid per person getting paid out. So it's not bad.
I mean, when me and SJ were there, I think the big takeaway was the atmosphere. With Brit Ball, we're, as much as it's like a tight knit community, spread all across the country, but everyone there was just, as much as there were some bouts of of handbags, for lack of a better term, for the most part. A very, very the vibe I got was Pro Bowl-esque. It's the end of the season, everyone's sort of relaxed. Even though there's money on the line, that was sort of the case. Will that be the case for Uniball? We don't know, but the Hellhounds obviously won it last time, comprising of mainly Bristol-based talent. Within the E5's Uniball edition, is it going to be much the same? A lot of universities teams sort of tied together, or are they going to be split up?
It's a little bit of a mix this time. So like we do try and encourage like the Pro Bowl and the hybrid squads and things like that. But because the nature of Uniball is like people come from all over the place. They've got senior commitments, so we've got we're still gonna not sort of ready to put out the full squads and all the names yet, but we thought we'd get like a Midlands team that would be like a bit of a Midlands super team, and actually that's not really come out that way. So we've got a very, very heavy Loughborough team. We've got a really, really heavy Kent-based team. The sort of guys in the southwest, kind of like the Bristol area, a lot of the guys from the Aztecs can't play because they're tied into the CFL. But then we've ended up with sort of like some Cardiff guys, Exeter guys, still a couple of UE that aren't tied to the Aztecs, some Pride guys. So that's like a real kind of like regional smash up. We've got a couple around London that sort of bolted together with, maybe a couple of guys from like KCL, Queen Mary, that sort of thing. And then we've got a bit of a northern powerhouse team going on as well. So it's a real mixed up. Like I think we've got some people that are sort of like die hard, basically the best 18 players from their uni team. Others are a real sort of set of ringers, bolting random guys together, blokes they play senior with or play junior with. We've got a team of guys that are actually sort of like a GB under 19s alumni heavy team, and that's where they've come from, which is quite fun. And to be honest, it's going to be really interesting to see how it comes together. Because like you don't really get a chance to play with a lot of these people again when you've played like GB and national team. I think when we had the senior version, one of the teams that made it right to the end, which is the Royals, that kind of was like a GB seniors alumni team of like Fossey, Pemberton. We had like Courtney, people like that involved in it. We like guys like Ash rocked up as well. We had like X came out of the woodwork. He used to play for Blitz and was like a serious uni ball player back in the day, but was like one of the biggest running backs in Europe. Like bolted loads of these guys together that haven't played for I don't know, potentially years. Some of them together, and a lot of them are also like semi-retired, so they just wouldn't have a chance to play at all again. And it worked really well. So it's going to be really interesting to see how the guys get on that are just bolted together for the day. We need to make sure they're set up with decent coaches and a half decent playbook. But equally, we have maybe like a Loughborough team that they're pretty purist. They're not bolting in any extras. They currently play in a Prem division, which is full of a lot of very like import US heavy teams. And so they haven't had like an amazing Prem season. But actually, if you strip the imports out, and they just played against British talent versus British talent, or I guess probably largely European, their results would be very, very different in the Prem. So it's hard to tell really what the scores are going to be. Like a lot of teams will struggle in 11s because they might not just have a great OC, or maybe the O line's a bit shit or something like that. But actually, when it comes to fives, you're just putting one or two of the best guys in every position out there, and suddenly it's completely different. And that's kind of what we saw from T1. So, truth be told, man, I don't really know how it's going to go or who the best teams are going to be yet. We always have suspicions, but after the first one, we got a lot of stuff really wrong. Like some of the teams we thought would get fucking rolled actually competed and had like one score games with the teams that went on to win it. So yeah, it's a really funny format of football, man. But in terms of like the atmosphere and stuff like that, people absolutely loved it last time. I think we ended up with about 400 people on site for the day. And bear in mind, this was the first time we ever done it. Nobody really knew what we were doing. And we did just ask them to turn up in a field in Hertfordshire that had no phones. Like it wasn't like, and it wasn't even that near a train station or anything. Whereas this time, we've listened to sort of a lot of feedback and like the common pain points that people wanted to address. It's now at Surrey Sports Park. It's an absolutely cracking venue, like the immaculate grass pitch. We've got custom lines and stuff like that being painted for our pitch, and we've also got someone reached out, and it kills me that I've forgotten his name, so I need to check. But we actually have a guy that's coming down to do like GPS guided custom end zones. So we should be able to put like Elite Fives, like letter
Sick.
in in the end zones. We've got actual like proper seating this time because the University of Surrey has like big, like American high school style bleachers that they can roll out. So we've got a couple hundred seats worth of bleachers. We've got food van there. We've got the pitch that's closest to like the bar and the balcony. So you can actually, whilst you're sort of like getting your pint from the bar inside, you can look out the windows and still see both pitches going. Proper power supply. So we've actually got like proper DJ decks brought down this time, merchandise, like more confectionery, and just like everything's a lot closer as well. So we've gone from a very Sunday league, like I wouldn't have even called it a semi-pro setup. It's very much like a village soccer club type feel in T1 to suddenly this is where they host like Olympic events and Harlequins, men and women both train. And it's just like way more professional. So really looking forward to seeing what we can do this time round in terms of like atmosphere. We've also had like some other ideas with it where sort of in tournament one, we found that spectators didn't really know to stand because you've got two pitches that are side by side, and then obviously you've got all the way around the outside that you can go. Even if you roped it off, if you've got maybe like, I don't know, the 300 to 400 spectators that we'd expect, it can end up quite thin, like just one person deep all the way, and then you don't really get like that bowl atmosphere. It still feels like you're playing in a park. But what we're actually going to do is rope off probably 50% of the pitches this time. So it's almost like a U shape or like a horseshoe that spectators can stand in. We'll put the bleachers in there, but then we're actually going to make the offenses on the day always go the same direction. So if you imagine we've got like a big strip of bleachers, just like a load of like those big seats, they're going to go across both the end zones of like a regulation sort of like rugby pitch. Or it's like we use just the sideline, I guess, is like where the end zones are. So if you imagine like one sideline of a rugby pitch has just a big line of seats all the way across it, those are going to be the end zones that the offense always drives into. So then you're sat right in front of like where all the TDs are happening all day. We can stick the DJs right there, all the food stuff's right there. So we should be able to get like this little fan zone set up where people never really need to move more than like 15, 20 meters to get a drink, go to the bathroom, get food, shop stuff, merch stuff, confectionery, and just keeps it all in like one place, really noisy. So we've made some really big efforts to build a better fan experience this time and make kind of those ticket prices a little bit more value for money. So we'll see how it goes. And then, of course, we're also looking to stream the grand finale, which is big release. I've heard the people doing it are pretty good. I don't know if you agree, but we're going to see what they get up to.
They're very good. I know they're very handsome. That's what I do know.
Oh, I haven't heard that. Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
So obviously the offense is going one way. What are the other rule changes that people can expect? Because obviously, at the first one, there are a fair few rule changes to really speed up the game.
It's a good point. So it's a few things that we've had sort of across the feedback is like, because this is a different format of football than we're used to, there are a few things. So it's like QBs can't just take off and run past the line of scrimmage. You have to actually pass them the ball first. So there's like some little tactics people will do where like the running back will actually go under center and basically like pop pass it straight back to the QB. And then he's got kind of that run pass option. He can take off or he can throw it. There's some awkward rules around like how QB draws and stuff like that are done. That's a little bit sneaky that caught people out because you're technically only allowed to rush one person past the line of scrimmage on a pass play. Otherwise, like every pass play, you just send a blitzer either side of the alignment, and the QB's just running for his life, like completely cooked. So like the normal way any play is going to work is you have to have a D lineman in a 3 or 4 point heads up on the center, and that's the one person that's allowed to rush. So it's really, really simple, and it's kind of like you're just doing like 1v1 drills all day in every single position, like the same drills you'd see on like Instagram of like some college kid working out at a camp against the other 4 or 5-star recruits. The whole day should look like that, really, or kind of like a destroying video or something. We have sort of like shortened up the play clocks and stuff like that as well, so the game should fit within about like 45 minutes if it's run end to end with a quick half time. But like some of the other things that we had previously is like actually one ref may interpret the rules a little bit different to the other, because it's all being done on eye, right? Like we don't have VAR, so it's, you know, sometimes you need to check stuff and it's slightly different rule set. What we've actually done this time to help make sort of the refereeing a bit more consistent, we're getting kind of like the head white hat that we've worked on with the rules. So we speak to the refs about the rule book, get them to sort of interrogate stuff and ask questions. And we're actually going to plonk Mike Woolley, who is like to the book, like the man could read the, Mike, like he can read the rule book like off the top of his head, like brilliant. He's like Mike Ross, brilliant brain for it. We're actually going to stick him in the middle of both pitches and kind of make him like the games master. So he won't necessarily be reffing any games himself on a day, but he's going to be like that focal point for like, this is how this situation has just happened. I thought it was this. Technically, what is the ruling? And that way we can just have it really quick decisions sort of made on both sides. But otherwise, yeah, I mean, there's not anything that's like too funky in there. It largely is basically the same as 11s. The QB running is the main thing, and the D lineman starting heads up. In terms of like the actual game format, I think we have a 60-yard pitch, which includes 10-yard end zones either side. 5 yards and in from the end zone is technically a no-run zone. So it encourages you to try and pass the ball in a little bit more. And weirdly, you'll actually see people like taking a knee on first down so that they can get into like run zone sometimes. And then otherwise, because we've got no specials, there's no punting, no field goals. You start on your own 5, and that's where you'll get the ball. You got 4 attempts to try and get to halfway. If you get to halfway, you get another 4 to score. So it's an 8-play drive, or the ball is flipped. Unless you get like a pick or a fumble recovery, you always start with your offense on your own 5. So punting, it just doesn't exist because there would be no point of it. But it really worked, man. It seems like a little bit of a weird format, and I think if you look at our website, it has like a elite5sfootball.com. It has quite a clear breakdown of how all this stuff works and the timings and things like that. We've also sent out like a pretty clear rule book, which is like very nicely designed to all the players and coaches as well, so they can understand this. But the playbook design, we're going to have to work with like a few teams on that just so they understand it, because you see some really, really funky stuff, some very gimmicky stuff. Every single player on the field is eligible, which is something that we don't normally deal with. So I think in tournament 1, the most common position that had a touchdown was actually the O-lineman, because they'd basically snap the ball, block for a little bit, and then take off. So I think like Keanu Ebanks, David Pemberton, Lewis Thomas, those 3 guys, probably like a LCB as well, maybe like those 4, they must have had at least 10 TDs between them. So the O-lineman like absolutely loved it. Like I've seen pictures of like my right guard horizontal 3 feet off the air, where he's just had his legs chopped up and he's just airborne, doesn't know what to do. He's never been in this position before. It's pretty majestic stuff. So yeah, it's a really good format, man. Like it makes for some really good football. It's just run, pass, catch, hit. That's that simple. Like all the good honest stuff we love about football. Like nobody is watching a game of college football on the TV like, oh fucking hell, that pump was good. Like you're not looking at the pump protection and being like, oh fucking yeah, that's not the ticket seller. It's the big hits, it's the ridiculous catches, it's the people getting their ankles broken and burnt off the line. That kind of stuff is actually what like makes entertaining football. we had that feedback from the spectators all the time. Like, it's a very complex sport to watch at 11s because of all like the penalties and the clock stops and all this kind of stuff, and then loads of people are throwing flags and coming from miles away. Everything in fives is way sort of like looser. You'll get away with kind of the little crackback blocks and stuff a little bit more. The holding calls, we kind of try and let stuff go and just let football be played. So we found quite a lot of the time that, like, you know, some bloke's sister that's just come down to have a look at it, she really enjoyed the day, despite the fact that she didn't really understand football, because it's just so simple. And it is just like big hit, tackle, catch, done, you know, hurdle, someone's getting their head jumped over. Like, so it's really good, man. It worked fantastically the first time. I think with this one that's coming through, we'll have to see what the uni guys bring. But we're getting pretty close to filling the squad. It's like we're 6 weeks out now, and I think we've got probably 25% are fully paid up, but of the guys that haven't paid yet, I think pretty much like every squad is more or less like 75-80% full. So we probably need to find like maybe another 25 players or 20 players right now, and then we're pretty like maxed out. So it's going very well, man. But I'm just curious to see what the day's going to look like with uni players versus senior.
I think the
Sorry.
big thing I would say is if there's someone that's watching and is like, I don't know if I want to do it because I'm hearing that these guys are all on one team and this is all on one team. I still do it because I think the biggest takeaway from I think you said already is that it doesn't matter who these people are as individuals. Like, some of the better teams on the day were the ones that probably on paper you'd say probably weren't going to have a good shot.
Mm.
So I think it's amazing. I thought the event I think it was great to watch. It was great to be a part of. I think the uni one would be even better. Definitely funnier. I think there's going to be some absolutely ridiculous nonsense, but
Yeah,
can't wait.
And this is it. Like, one thing just to be stated is, and this is there could be a driving force. You can celebrate. You don't get flagged in this. Everyone, you can celebrate as much as you see fit. You know, I would say, you know, don't take the piss. No, do absolutely
no. Have
Do the
fun
most
with it.
ridiculous thing you want to do.
Have fun with it. Like, we're really kind of loose about what this is. Like, we're one of the joys of not being a BAFA affiliated event and having your own refs to do everything is we can completely define the rule book. So, like, we recommend that you wear girdles and stuff, like, because you'd probably be a bit dumb, but we don't give a shit if you have knee pads. Like, we don't care about that. Go get your visors, wear whatever gum shield you want.
mic'd up.
Yes, yeah, we're incredibly content creator friendly. So whether or not you are, you know, you make all these like really nice edits and stuff, and that's what you do. You know, like we had like Lauren Dell did some absolutely mental stuff. Like Silas did some good stuff. M2 and Omri did some crazy things last time, and loads of other guys. If you're the kind of guy that likes to come down, chop up a load of video, and like just make all these like nasty edits and stuff, we're unbelievably friendly for that. Like, we give media passes, so people are just like, there are cameras on absolutely every player 24/7 when they're on the pitch, and some like unbelievable stuff came out, and it just kept coming for months. But we're trying to sort of build on that more and let people have a bit more luck with it and a bit more fun. So, like, if you want to mic up a player, then that's totally fine as long as you can do it safely. If you want to basically body cam them and have, you know, we're going to talk about the meta glasses, but if you want to like body cam them and have like a little clip on camera or something, we need to test it. Like, I'd really like somebody that actually plays to test this while they can. But meta glasses, like underneath the helmet, if we know it's not going to basically blind you or, you know, somehow come off and like stab someone in the eyeball or something, we're completely open with like anything like that, because it's going to do is just make fun marketing, really good clips, and then you've got kind of those clips for life. You know, you can look back at them and remember the day, and that's all we're really trying to do. Is like, basically, if we don't give a player a good experience, then we need to address something and try and fix it. So, like, all these little things where like you might feel like a little bit of a celebrity for a day because you've got 20 cameras in your face, you're mic'd up, you've been stuck in some mental montage. Like, this is what we're trying to do, is like just make something that isn't 5 guys and his dog watching in a field on a pissing wet day, and like, you know, just like the normal crap that we deal with in Baffa. We're just trying to make something that's a bit more fun. This time round as well, we're also looking at doing kind of like a mini documentary at the same time. So we've one of the guys that co-owns the business with us runs a YouTube channel called Thinking Football. Thinking Football are the second biggest NFL YouTube channel that isn't the NFL. So it's basically Brett Coleman, then it's them. And we're looking to do a video on their channel this time, which, given they've got like a 200K audience on YouTube, it's like it's a lot of attention. I think because they're like primarily American based, some like Moneyball tournament happening in the UK is going to like actually get quite a lot of attention. So we're going to be putting a big focus this time into creating this little mini documentary thing. So we want kind of like all these creators coming down, getting the clips, getting the sound bites, getting the footage. We're also just going to be hiring a load of sort of videographers and stuff as well that are going to have a much sort of stricter media plan. So I think we're yet to kind of find the time to fully carve out what that looks like, but we'll end up getting someone like Kenichi, who's does quite a lot of stuff around sort of brickball, and then he's done like Nordic Storm stuff as well. We'll end up using him to kind of direct and manage a little team. So if anybody's looking to get involved in like a media thing that's a bit more organized, or they just, you know, they're doing a project or a bit of a passion project or something, definitely give me a shout, because we'll put you in contact with him and try and do something proper. But we should come out of the day with some really good quality football getting played, some really stupid celebrations, which we're probably going to give a prize for. We
And drip prizes as well.
Yeah, well, I think this is going to be kind of where we're going to leave this stuff to you, to be honest. Like in our heads, all we want to do is make sure that we get all the cameras and stuff sorted. We run a smooth tournament. Everyone gets, you know, everyone comes out of it healthy. Like we didn't have a single injury in tournament 1, which is a surprise, to be honest. We thought people were going to be getting
Everyone's
bent
going
up.
to die.
Yeah, I mean, people felt like crap the next day, but we thought like 5v5, no special teams. We thought people were going to be getting like snapped into left, right, and center, but no injuries. I think as soon as you have like less people in the box and you're not having like linemen falling over the back of each other, suddenly a lot of that risk is gone. I don't know. That's the theory anyway. But we're going to have a lot of really good attention, some good football, some mental celebrations. But I think really like we wanted you guys to kind of start dishing out like some fun awards on the day. I don't know if you want to talk about the sort of stuff that you might want to do and what that prize might be, but we've definitely found a good trophy supplier as of the other day, so we'll be getting a couple of them.
Yeah, I don't promise you're going to get any. I want ludicrous trophies. So I will say I'll let Jord sort of announce it. So who's hosting the event?
So
Who's
Depth Chart
host?
Sports, they're going to be down, formal hosts.
And all of you out there, if you don't think I'm gonna find like a lifeguard's chair, sit at the top of it, and if your play's terrible, I'll give you the thumbs down, and you have to leave. You're completely gone, and your money in my pocket. No, we're gonna try and make it as fun as possible. We're gonna try and give out some awards for basically everything. I want ludicrous football, but most importantly, I want it to be fun. Like, no, if you get into fights, no. You may
Oh,
you may
don't
get
know, could be good.
you may get
Best right hand.
you may get a dig.
Best scrap.
You may get a dick of the day. Who knows? Who knows? Probably not, because I don't want to glorify things like that. But I mean, we're looking forward to it, and we're going to try and not get in anyone's way as much as possible.
That's
But
right.
Yeah. I'm already planning the outfit. I think I'm going to try and go. I've got the purple suit. I'm going to try and do the opening scene from that original Willy Wonka, walking towards, do a roll, and now we're here. That's going to be it. Tear both Maycells.
Lovely.
So I mean, as we sort of wrap up here, I think let the people know when, where, and how to sign up.
Yeah, so it's 18th of April, so it's after every single uni game, promo, relegation, the lot. It's all out of the way. completely free. It's on a Saturday. We've actually sorted out a hotel deal as well. If you're traveling from far, so you can get a little bit of a discount. I need to chase them on that and do a post about it, but that's done. And it's at the University of Surrey, the Surrey Sports Park. So we've got everything there, really easy to get to. If you don't know where the University of Surrey is, it's in Guildford. So it's either very easy for driving, or you get the train into Guildford, and a very cheap shuttle bus will take you directly to where the event is from Guildford train station. So it's pretty damn good. If you want to sign up, we have two options for how you do it. Either you go into elite5sfootball.com. There's a form that you can fill out on our website. It's just called like player coach registration. Fill out your basic details. It's going to ask for your government name, just so we'd actually know who the hell you are, kind of your known as name, strongest position, and then a bit of stuff about experience. And then we also include a little field that says team captain or general manager. If you're applying as just you with nobody else you know, you put free agent, just so we sift through them and like hand them over to the other captains to fill gaps. If you're applying with people you know, just put somebody's name as the one. So, you know, if SJ, Tebs, and I were all applying at the same time, maybe we just all put down Tebs, just so I know that I'm trying to stick you together, because then I can have like 3 guys on the same team, bolt you in with another 3 guys, and then we'll just build out the roster from there. If you somehow don't find the form, the other easiest way is literally just shoot us a message on Instagram. It's just Elite Fives Football. It's very easy to find. I'll pick it up and we'll just have a chat about what we're trying to do. But it's a lot of good fun. It's very easy to jump into. This is open to players and coaches. So we do want coaches as well. Every team has to have a minimum of 2, just to make sure the standard of football is good enough. But yeah, that is pretty much it. Just hit us up, shoot us a message. And we want to try and get people from all over Uniball involved. We also don't care where you're from. So I know previously of like the All-Star games and stuff like that, you had to be British, but we're not really about that, to be honest. If you're good, we want you playing in the tournament. So hit the form, bring in your random mates from whatever country. We don't care if they're in Bucks, if they're in the US, if they're in France, Germany. If you're a student, we want you playing in this.
I'm buzzing.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm looking forward to it. And God, I had one more question. What was it? Oh my God, I've forgotten the question. Oh yeah, when do you think we're gonna have the rosters so me and SJ can once again
We're doing a draft again.
Draft.
Fantasy.
pat ourselves on the back and do a fantasy draft?
So the fantasy draft's a funny one, because you know what, people still want us to do this for the actual squad selection. You know, people are still harping on about how we should just do the whole thing as a draft and people just sign up and deal with it. I don't think it'll work, but we'll see. Sorry,
I think it would be chaotic if you did that.
It would be chaotic, but if we genuinely could get the list of 144 players that we decided were good enough, like enough players for each team, and gave them like a template or something, like you have to take 3 O-linemen, you have to take 2 receivers, so like it was definitely balanced.
Imagine being Mr. Irrelevant in an E5 draft.
Well, at least you get in. Like a lot of people applied. Like we reject more people than we let in, because they either don't submit any tape, and then I try and chase for a reference and I can't find one. So I'm like, okay, well, I'm not just going to take a gamble on some random fucker. Or they do submit tape and it's fucking terrible, and I just think you're going to get filled in. So I'm not going to let you pay money to just get done in by like a load of UE players or something. You know?
My favorite thing about the draft situation that we're doing, the fantasy draft, is I'm screaming at people that have never met me, telling them, but getting buzzing for them to score a touchdown, and they're like, I don't know who you are.
But yeah, so the full squads, I think we're good to post the Storm out now. So the Storm are going to go out any second. I'm just working my way through all of the spotlights that I can, just to give the individuals their love before we post the full team.
So who's the Storm? Oh, sorry, sorry, Jordan.
I mean, the Storm is my boy Teju. He's come back. So he was actually the GM for T1 as the Storm. and he's come back a second time, which is fucking awesome. Absolutely love it. The guy just gets it done with minimal chasing and admin from me. So like #1 recruit every time. So they're going to be dropped first. They're really, really Kent heavy. And I think they're going to be quite good, to be honest. But we've got the Reapers are gone already. We've got the Phantoms are gone already. And the Royals have gone already. So 4 of those teams are already booked up, and we pretty much know who everybody is. 2 of them are like either maxed out or basically maxed out. The other couple were just like deadline day signings where a couple of people might be late. So when I can give you the full rosters, it's not going to be this week. Like we've put a much harder cutoff on sign up and payments for 1 month before the tournament. So exactly 2 weeks today. Like just because we know students might not be able to pay as instantly as a lot of the adults were. So we're just going to give them like a guideline. Basically, if you don't get paid up by here, we'll just start chasing with you and just chatting and just double checking you're actually going to enter and stuff. So I would imagine you're probably not going to see these full rosters until 1 to 2 weeks before the tournament. You're not going to see these till April for every team.
Okay. Makes sense.
Yeah, I just think it's going to take longer this time. We're still reaching teams like and getting, like we've only just stuck in 2 guys from Leeds Beckett for the first time, like yesterday or this morning, whenever it was. So we're still reaching out into teams to grab the talent. It's going to take a little bit more time, and we still got to get people paid up and confirmed. So yeah, I don't think you're going to get those probably for another month earliest, to be honest. It'll be quite a last minute thing.
Boring. Well, we've got to book it in now. We've got to book the stream in now. But I mean, with that, Jord, thank you for coming on, and everyone. Yeah. E5s will obviously, tag it where possible. Go and sign up. Try and win some money. That's it. Go to Surrey.
Win some money. Best celebration, exactly. Guildford, money, celebrations, done. And there'll be a cheer performance. Everyone loves those. There you go.
Exactly.
Shout out Surrey Angels, I think they're called.
Exactly. Why wouldn't you go? Unless you're like, Bristol Aztecs.
Yeah. Then or Blitz, yeah.
Blitz,
The Warriors.
No, they'll be there. We actually we turn up to stuff. Not Baffa, apparently. But not Baffa for himself, allegedly. But I don't want to talk about that.
Right, that's the industry.
We're gonna get
on that note,
see you later. Uniball.
Cheers, John.
Thank you very much.
Uniball 5s, get paid. Bosh. See you later.
In a bit. Right, so SJ, I mean, it begs the question: do we want to talk a little bit about general Britball? What's going on here?
Let's give it a couple of minutes.
Let's give it a couple of minutes.
We don't know exactly what's going on yet.
Oh, there's a London team coming. There's a London team coming, and it's obviously the EFA one is coming in 2027. ALFE has announced that they will be having a team in London in 2026. Now, we know that Marvin Allen, he's the only sort of face on that team currently. But yeah, it's an interesting one. Really could potentially shake up not just European football. I think that there's been space for a professional London-based franchise for a while, but the implications to BAFA as well could be seismic. Obviously, there's how many, like 2 months to build a team. It's going to be a hard task, but I think most people's or more my biggest question is, where are they going to play? Where are they going to play? Because we know
Site 5.
Site 5. Because obviously we do know that the EFA team, they will be I'd assume anyway. Don't take my word for it that it'll be at Leyton Orient. I think that was announced actually that it'll be at Brisbane Road. So yeah, it just depends on where they put them. It's going to be an interesting one to see. Will I go to any games? Well, yeah, probably. Yeah, probably. But my problem is that like it's after like covering the ELF for a number of years, not covering, commentating it. It's like I do like the Rhine Fire. I'm a big fan of the Rhine Fire. So if I go out there, I probably will be in some sort of Rhine Fire merch, being being a nuisance, but yeah, who knows? Or are we working for the ALFE or the EFA? We don't know. No one knows anything about anything. I certainly don't. I'm just excited. Speaking of being excited, it's the Uniball show. We've barely spoken about Uniball. It's been 40 minutes in.
Yeah,
Let's
sorry. Some
get
people have been
into
waiting for 40 minutes
Let's
to
get
talk about
into
them.
it. Premiership football. 4 teams have gone through, one of which broke my heart. The rest of them, well, actually, no, I'd argue that Portsmouth NTU, that was a bit of an upset. Let's dive straight into the one that we were both at. And I will say, if anyone did catch the live stream, again, bit of a new. I'm trying to make it a bit of a lighter setup. I do apologize if it wasn't as streamlined as normal. I will try to get that as streamlined as possible. But thank you for bearing with me. Simple as that. So, yeah, Brunel Newcastle. For me, anyway, Newcastle. I was impressed by Newcastle. The scoreline may suggest that Brunel put BTA, but yeah, I wouldn't say so. I mean, there were some times in which I think the scoreline should have been a bit high, but Brunel was getting a pick right at the 2-yard line, and then the Newcastle Rangers not being able to punch in at the end of the first half. Yeah, I mean, I don't get me wrong. Brunel is still the favourites, but I'm impressed with the Raiders. That's what I'm going to say.
I think yeah. I mean, from our point of view, we weren't happy with the performance. I know people probably thinking, "Oh, we won 54-12," but no, I think we came out in the second half much better than we did in the first, and I think that was the difference maker. I think at the end of the day, we just keep playing our game.
I mean, the two shorter kicks, I wouldn't necessarily class them as onside to start the second half. I think, being able to recover both of those, that sealed it. That sealed the game for Brunel. Simple as that. But I'm impressed with Newcastle. I don't think it's a performance they should be sad about by any stretch of the imagination.
No.
But so Brunel and we as in but actually no, both the literal we and the royal we. So that's Depth Chart Sports and me and SJ will be at Site 5, hopefully for the last ever time in my entire life, hopefully, for the Brunel Burners versus the Warwick Wolves.
Ooh.
Now, obviously, they beat Cardiff last year. From all reports, this was an absolute corker of a game. I believe the Cardiff Cobras were down 24-3 at the half. Came back, led the game 33-30, and the Warwick Wolves just managing to slam the door shut on the Cardiff Cobras with another touchdown, 37-33.
I'm a bit gutted for them. I think I said all year that they're a team that doesn't roll over and just die. And they've clearly proven it in this game, but yeah, it's from a South bias point of view, it ruined my prediction.
Well, it ruined all our brackets. The only Prem one that was different was you picking Portsmouth to beat NTU, which we will obviously get onto. Yeah. Good on Warwick Wolves. Obviously, in the playoffs last year, they were a dark horse to make it to the final, I'd say. Would you say that's fair? Even though they won the Prem North, they were still. You wouldn't expect Portsmouth or Warwick to get there. Could we see something special here? I mean, this Warwick versus Brunel matchup is a very interesting one. A very interesting one.
I think it'll be a good game. I think from my personal point of view, it's nice to play a new team. I do enjoy playing new teams.
No, was it? I spoke to Christian, the QB with Brunel. Same sentiment. He's like, would you just play all the same teams all the time? Can we just play someone different? Got his wish, and it may be a wish that he maybe not likes. But it's the Warwick Wolves. The Warwick Wolves are coming to Site 5, and I'm sorry, Warwick, not good. It's not.
Have you seen their pitch? Have you seen our pitch? It's opposite ends of the spectrum.
I think it's Cryfield Sports Pavilion.
Their pitch is lovely.
Yeah, I've been a few times.
Nice.
I've been a few times, and now you're going to know what it's like to play some real terrible football. Wind was horrible. Hopefully, we can get that sorted out. Who's we? We don't control the weather. NTU versus Portsmouth. Portsmouth come away with the victory.
I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it for the first time in any time ever. Big up. big up. Big up.
So Ben over at NTU has let me know a little bit about the game. They played a great game. NTU apparently they had a fair few injuries, and even with NTU saying this, you've just beaten them, saying they're a force to be reckoned with, and Portsmouth could make the finals. Obviously, they did lose twice to SGS, who will be their opponents come the 15th. But let's be honest, they're running the ball. It looks good.
Well, I think the QB threw 3 passing touchdowns.
No.
So yeah, I thought it must have been. I thought just give Nebby the ball and off he goes. But it seems that they've really spread the ball out. I think there's a couple of Ports guys in the comments, so they probably know better.
Yeah.
Well, they will know better, not probably.
We're doing that a lot today. We're just going, yeah. Oh no, sorry. Actually, that is correct. Oh, there's a meme. There's a meme dump. Right. Okay. We'll get onto that later on. Just partway through the show.
First one's heartbreaking.
Well, I'm not going to look at it. I need to get back into this. Yeah, I mean, NTU, it's a shame they've obviously won in the Prem North, but Portsmouth heating up at the right time is, I believe, what you said. But the question is, and we will obviously get on to Northumbria versus SGS. Can they beat SGS?
I think they can.
Yep, so do I.
Based on what I saw yesterday, I think they can.
Yeah, I mean, we'll get into it. Obviously, an absolute humdinger of a game. Filthy games all round. Rushing TD for Ports QB. It went to overtime. It's a rarity. I feel blessed that we've had, within 2 weeks, a coin toss and an overtime. They don't happen. They don't.
There was that intentional grounding safety yesterday as well.
Yes. God.
Can't read that one out.
Can't read that one out. Yeah, I mean, it went down to the wire. I mean, you have to look at Northumbria here. Come on, Mustangs.
Unreal.
Unreal game. Going to overtime, 38-38. Guys, anything about watch the game? Stream the game then.
Someone asking what happened in the game, mate.
Yeah, we're asking you what happened, and we got a report from NTU, and they said that Portsmouth were good. Don't follow the format of the show. Yeah, I mean 38-38. Very, very impressed with Northumbria. Yeah, I mean it came down to the wire. Obviously, Northumbria going to overtime, getting the field goal, but I mean, some points you have to go. Ash Bailey putting the SGS pride on his back a bit in that overtime to be able to get them into the next round of the playoffs to face Portsmouth. But at Portsmouth, because Portsmouth win home field advantage.
Well, we were. So I think by the time we finished, Northumbria had just scored to tie it up, and so I haven't actually watched the game yet. But
hold on a second. Is this 2022? Tebs, I thought Ports were going down.
We were sat there thinking, if Northumbria win this, they've got to do an absolutely monumental journey down to Portsmouth.
Yeah.
But alas, wasn't to be.
I was about to say, why am I getting grief? But I understand it now. It's because you picked Portsmouth to win. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
And I think they can do it, and I think they'll probably have a belief in them that they can do it.
Yeah. It's going to be another great game in the Prem. I mean, it's like a bit of both.
Well, if we're talking momentum, you've got Portsmouth who have won their last 2 in fantastic fashion at the weekend, and then on the flip side, you've got SGS who lost to Cardiff, then didn't have a game, and then have just got through. I say just got through. I mean, it's probably been disrespectful to Northumbria, but they should be beating those. They should be beating teams. But it's like I said, it's not the same SGS team as before. So,
I mean, if Portsmouth have a trip to Loughborough, after having a regular season that they're definitely unhappy with. But
they'd make it to Loughborough having equalled their regular season win total. which is immense.
Which is nuts, right? But at the end of the day, like you pick up that victory over a divisional winner, and suddenly you're playing at home. You know, which I do appreciate. It's crazy, SGS going up there, and there is space here for a Portsmouth Brunel final. Not to obviously discount SGS, but something that didn't really seem something that didn't seem possible. Warwick SGS rematch. That's what's on the cards here.
Oh.
Could you imagine? Yeah. I mean,
I think the scores across the board in the Prem in national VARs was unreal this week. I think that's got to be, what was the average? Like 55 points every game or something. Every game was decided by a touchdown bar one. Proper football. And then there's some absolute stinkers in Div 1.
Let's get into it.
Should we start with the stinkiest of the scores? And the funniest one.
Let's start with the Lancashire Rams versus the MMU Eagles. It was 0-0 at half time. 0-0 at half time. And we see 2-0 pop on the board for the Rams. And then ending 5-0. Obviously, we know that Charlie Martin, QB4, the Rams went down against Manchester in their final game of the regular season. And it was George Hatfield's time to start. And, in talking to some people from the Rams, it's, George has come in. He has played this season, but he's played in those no pressure zones where the game's already won. And this is now,
this is the pressure cooker.
This is as pressurized as it can be. The Rams are a team that want to go up. That's the destination for them. That's where they want to go. And now it's on his back. And again, I think that he does need to settle in here. But given, I think it was at 10-15, the Rams versus Manchester score from a few weeks ago, they're going to be once again welcoming the Tyrants, and Tyrants beating Hallam. I think it looks at 23-20 was the score for the Tyrants. Tyrants are a good team.
That's a trap game.
That's a trap game, man.
I don't think you can call them trap games we get to this point, can you? But
I think
if there's going to be an upset, I think it's that one.
I think so as well. Like there's a possibility where that Manchester are playing in that semi-final, and that would be at home to them versus Napier, if Napier beat Nottingham Green or Green the other way, of course. But yeah, I mean, it's a massive turn of momentum here for the Tyrants. I think they can do it, but I think it's the other side of that northern bracket. There's a game there this week that is just disgusting. As games go, it's Napier versus Nottingham Green. This is obviously like the biggest test for both teams, but obviously more so for Napier coming out of a Scottish division where, because of that no relegation policy that they've got, some of the opponents there just aren't quite up to scratch. Whereas, the Nottingham Green, dominated Hallam the second time. It's going to be an interesting one.
Wow, mate. Wow.
We're not on the south yet.
No.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, Napier versus Greens, that's football.
That's a good game. I mean, they beat Green beat Stirling, didn't they?
Green beat Stirling.
We have some idea of where the Scottish division stands slightly.
I think we've got more of an idea, but I mean, for me anyway. Jamie is literally dodging missiles. It's not even a joke, which is nuts. But he'll be back on Friday, as he says in the comments. I still think that the winner, hopefully the winner of the Northern and going up. Sorry to Manchester and sorry to the Rams here. It comes out of the Green and the Napier. At this point,
and unless the Rams can get some firepower back in, I'd be inclined to agree.
Yeah. So if we're going to move on to the southern side of the bracket, it was looking. It was Birmingham had the lead for a little bit there. I was thinking they may be one of the biggest upsets, the biggest upset of the weekend, but Hearts managed to claw back 19-8. I believe the final score was. Hearts are going through, and they will be facing Oxford Brooks again.
What a pouring run for Hearts.
This is it. You look at Napier last year, facing nothing but Scottish teams, up to the Northern final with Northumbria. It could be the same here. Well, it's the same here because they're facing OBU. Well, they faced Birmingham, and last time being at OBU versus Hearts, it didn't seem like OBU had an answer in that second half. And I can't see a world here where OBU have got enough. I like OBU. I'm the only one that picked them against Kent. I'll say that. Don't think they got enough to beat Hearts. Not this time. Not this.
No, I mean, I think Kent was like 9-5.
9-5. The old Dolly part and hit him with that 9-5.
Yeah. I think I'm surprised. I thought Kent might win that one.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Again. And then the other one was we have Brighton.
Brighton versus KCL, 7-0. 7-0. I spoke to a few of the KCL guys who were at QMBL versus Imperial last week. Yeah, I mean,
just a classic southeastern score.
That's a southeast score, and these KCL players are like, yeah, I think we can beat Bournemouth. No, no, you can't.
Well, I might go watch.
Please do.
I'm trying. I'm trying.
Yeah, you happy with that one?
I'm trying to decide whether I want to go watch Hearts versus OBU, if I want to go watch KCL versus Bournemouth.
Yeah.
Do a poll. Get the poll.
Get the poll up. Yeah, I mean, I'm a bit depressed about the Southeast one, if I'm completely honest. I'm a bit depressed. Like Kent, a close game, obviously, OBU's, but I'd say they're a bit better defensively, but, not what I was expecting from Kent. I was expecting, Kent Hearts matchup that could potentially go the way of Kent. It's not heading that way. They can't get past OBU. Not saying OBU is a bad team. And then 7-0 KCL over Brighton. Thought there'd be a bit more. I think if KCL would have come out here and put on a better score here, then I would be, a lot more gracious in their attempts to say they'll beat Bournemouth. I cannot see it happening, especially considering Bournemouth coming in third time they're facing the Barracuda, 21-0 to the Bobcats. It's the Bobcats is to lose. We've been clear about I know we had Joe White on the show on Friday, and he's like, I think people are surprised that we got here. That's
no, Joe.
That's a lie. That's a lie.
Who said that? What
like,
media outlet are you watching?
Pan Scooby got injured. They ran Wildcat for most of the second half. I still think it's a tough game for Brighton anyway. I mean, good on them to get to the playoffs, number one. Then didn't see that coming for them. I think Brighton probably going to be. I think they're going to be a force next year, but I think no one's leaving that southeast apart from UCL.
Sad.
Simple as that. But yeah, I mean, Bristol versus Bournemouth. I mean, good on Bristol for putting up the fight here. But again, it's if Bournemouth don't get promoted this year, then I don't know what to say.
Are we doing it? I said this already, and you went, no, don't do that. No, don't put it on them.
Do it. Put it on them.
They're the strongest number 6 seed in Pugs history.
They are. That's factually correct. And they've gone undefeated. I can't see him go.
Kuda putting up 0 in 3 games. At least they've still got their banjo. I hope Jed's banjo is safe.
Exactly right. As long as Jed's safe, that's all we've. Kind of got. This is it, right? Well, Casper, I think Bournemouth are. I think Bournemouth are that good. You know, I really don't see this going any other way. But Bournemouth, I think, they'll obviously be going to, in my opinion, how it's going to work out is they'll be going to Hearts. They'll play Hearts. It'll be a close game, and I think Bournemouth will win it.
Oh, I don't know. I'd love for that to be the final, and I'd love to be there, but I can't be there
Why?
because we've got our game against Warwick.
Oh. Do you know what they should do? If Hertfordshire were nice, they'd put that kickoff at like 5. So
please. If Hearts, if you make it, please, 5 o'clock kickoff.
5 o'clock kickoff. Or actually, even if it's OBU who makes it, OBU
5 o'clock.
5 o'clock kickoff, please. That's all we ask. Is that so wrong?
Enjoy Cancun. What kind of uni student is affording a trip to Cancun? That's right. Who's paying for that?
Yeah, I mean that's it. I mean, it's been an interesting one. Too many tight games. Div 1 obviously still going on into this week. Hearts are better than Bournemouth. Yeah, but things change. Opinions evolve.
I sometimes think we should have like a 10-minute segment on this show, which is like the old like Call of Duty lobbies, and we just let people join and just start screaming at each other.
Yeah, we could do if you want. We could do it right now.
Please don't.
Please don't. There you go. Enjoy Butlin.
Enjoy Butlin. Yeah, that's more like it. Enjoy Butlins.
Enjoy Butlin. So that's it. If someone gets eliminated, I feel like I sort of want to bring back a Q&A for like 2 minutes, but
should we do it now?
Yeah, should we do a Q&A?
Q&A
session,
5 minutes.
Question. We'll answer questions. Don't make them rude, or we won't read them out. As much as George was swearing, I need to start telling the guests to please not swear on the.
Please don't swear. We are live.
Please don't swear on the show.
Bring anyone from Cuda. No, you've had your chance. Bournemouth installed 0 new offensive plays. Well, don't Bournemouth know the KCL playbook? Whoa.
Is Cuda a fraudulent champion? They won it fair and square. So
technically, yeah.
They won it fair and square. So I see nothing wrong with like Barracuda if they want to like print divisional winning championship T-shirts and you won the division. You know, like the points deduction wasn't the Barracuda's fault. Tebs, do you think the Cuda can beat Reading Knights? They're that washed. Gosh.
No.
You don't think Barracuda would beat Reading?
I think it'd be a good game.
I think it'd be a good game.
I think Reading are the next superpower to come out of the Div 1 South. I'm
pretty happy with it. I think it would be. Gosh, I think it'd be pretty low scoring. I'll put it just like that, but I think it depends on what Barracuda shows up on the day. I think even the Barracuda will admit, the defense was, fantastic. Obviously, I know it's like 21. 21 nil.
Sensible question. We've got a sensible question.
Fair and square with the minus. Yeah, it's not the Barracuda's fault that the Bobcats were deducted points. Oh god, I'd probably give it to like Bristol by 1 score maybe.
Thoughts on Bruno and OBU making playoffs in their first years in the division? Yeah,
great. I mean, I think OBU again just fantastic.
I think OBU is harder because, like I said, in the Prem, it's just don't get relegated and you're in.
Exactly right, and it's OBU, from never being in Division 1 ever to getting there, and not just getting there, but winning their first round. They're 2 games away from double promotion. That's good. OBU should be impressed no matter, if their season ends on March 24th or their season ends on Sunday.
Oh, that's interesting because we've got 2 teams that are still going for back-to-back promotions. That's cool.
Yeah.
OBU, yeah.
Thoughts on Portsmouth upsetting NTU? I was surprised he wasn't. It seems like a tough game. Portsmouth getting hot at the right time. Simple as that. LJMU D1 champs next season.
No.
No, because I imagine Manchester look good, and truthfully, I think the Rams will still be playing Division 1 football. I still think they're a good team. Good response. Where do I send the payment? That's really funny.
Do you know what I realised? I think it's just Cuda players just arguing with each other in the comments.
It is crazy. They are.
Guys, do your degrees.
Go on, one more minute. One more minute of Q&A. Give me one more.
Can you come play corner for Surrey? Half of them are on holiday. Why are you on holiday in March?
Mate, what was that tournament? No, what was that festival? Bournemouth Sevens, where like people had
B7s, yeah.
People had to cancel games because too many of their players were at B7s. What a joke! Right,
Let's wrap this up. Memes.
Right, okay, hang on. Let's get the memes.
Ooh.
An All South semi-final. Yeah, that one makes me sad.
Cardiff,
So,
make me sick.
Make me sad.
Second one, funny.
Funny. Yeah.
Funny.
Yep. The third one. Funny. Oh God, that's good.
I want to know this. Who reached out to who? Did Coach Nana reach out to Bournemouth, or did Bournemouth reach out to Coach Nana? That's a genuine question. That's not. There's no banner in that question. That's a genuine question.
Number 4.
Yeah.
Yep. Number 4 is good.
Oh dear.
One division by 1 point against Bournemouth. Yeah. Oh dear. Terrible scores. Terrible scores.
OBU and BU hating on Kudo and going back to the colouring and degrees tomorrow. Lads, the quicker you realise your degrees mean nothing when you finish uni in this country, the better.
Yeah, I mean, you say that, but you know,
stay in uni as long as you can.
I was about to say, oh, look at me! I've got a sports journalism master's degree. I could have done this without it. Like, really and truly.
Yeah, that's it for today.
That's it. We'll see you on Friday for our show, and then they're still fighting.
Sorry, hang on a minute. Rather live in Hull than Bournemouth. Get a grip, man.
That's not true. Factually incorrect statements.
That's a factually incorrect statement.
Yeah, I mean, Sunday I'll be at QMBL versus Gloucestershire. Still waiting to know if I can stream that one, dependent on where.
It'll be Chislehurst.
Have they confirmed that?
It will be Chislehurst, South East London.
South East?
Yeah, mate.
How far is that from me?
Far. You've got to go around the whole M25.
Oh no, it doesn't matter because I'm getting on the bus.
Whee!
Yeah, we'll see you on Friday. Predictions will come. Rankings, maybe. No. Writers poll, maybe. Had a day, maybe, if you send them.
Jamie's still alive?
Actually, we've got more stuff. Giveaways. We're doing giveaways again. We've got stuff to give away, and they will be coming out this week. We'll let you know. We'll let you know. You know, we got 2 giveaways, and I'm looking forward to both of them. I think it'll be good. Good stuff. Good fun. Nice, easy day in British American football, everyone. Have a good sleep. Bye.
Night.